taken, welcome to the Segmented Podcast, the show where we bring you 3 segments each episode, ranging from discussion to improv. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm doing fantastic. Today, everything went perfectly normal. All of my wonderful, lovely devices in my life were working perfectly fine. I woke up, my grill made breakfast for me, my TV came on, showed me the news from Libya. It was just a good morning. I don't know if it's gonna be a good day. I mean, something could still go wrong, but everything's just going all right. So yeah, that's all that's been going on with me.
That's
How about yourself?
pretty good. Well, you know what? I'm doing well. So if you've been keeping up with our podcast, last week I talked about how my cow has been starting a revolution, it seems like, with all the other farm animals.
Right.
And for some reason, it seems to be quieting down. There hasn't been any sort of big dramatic changes, other than that it looks like they're okay. They're building another silo, I think. It's probably a silo, right? I don't know what it would be, but recently all the animals have been working together, getting a bunch of materials from all sorts of places and building this silo. They also brought in some sort of, I don't know, chemical and big vats, and it said danger explosives. So I don't exactly know what that's about, but you know, just normal animals doing normal animal things. Yeah, I was gonna say
right? It doesn't sound like there's anything quite wrong there. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a good idea to keep an eye on them, you know.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know.
Agreed. Yeah. So what segments are we doing today, Benjamin?
What segments, you ask? Well, that's a great question. Here,
it is a good question.
Let me just pull out this paper from my pocket.
Oh, you have it written right down. That's good.
I do have it written down. Segment 1 today, we're doing rants about everything / nothing.
Heck yes.
A great segment to vent and release all of your anger, even if it isn't about anything you're actually angry about.
Exactly.
Then we got a little bit of a BuzzFeed quiz. We're going to go ahead and find out what sort of blank we are, judging by blank. I'm sure it'll be a hoot.
He doesn't know what we're doing at all, but I chose it, and I think it's going to be great.
All right, I'll take your word for it. And then we're going to finish the episode with everybody's favorite mode of transportation, Segway.
Actually, I mean, we are doing Segway, but it actually has no relation to the
It has nothing to do with the
vehicle.
thing that I drive around town with.
No, I'm sorry. That's going to be next episode, though. Next episode, we're going to be doing Segway, and basically, we're just going to get on both of our Segways, take our microphones with us, and just go around town interviewing people and asking if the Segway is the true vehicle.
So you're telling me the $600 that I gave you last week was not to buy Segways. It was not to buy. It was not to purchase 2 Segways for us to ride in this episode.
Well, not today. We don't have time today, but next week, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, that's fine. I like the other segment too. That's whatever, you know.
I mean, I may or may not have had a cousin who already had 2 Segways, and the one that you got may or may not have been a hand-me-down Segway, and I may or may not have taken your $600 and bought a bunch of Cheez-Its with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay.
Yep, that may or may not have happened. It's fine.
Well,
it's fine.
Yeah. Well, we got a show to put on. Let's tell them about our rants about everything.
All right. Okay. Segment 1, rants about everything / nothing. The reason that we call it that is that we're going to be ranting about seemingly everything, but in reality, actually nothing, because we're just going to pretend to be angry about things that we're not angry about. So basically, we have a random word generator right here. And what we're going to do is, while we're doing this, we're going to get a random word and start ranting about it. We're going to think of as many stupid and super minuscule things to rant about and complain about this particular object. And we're just going to get real mad. I'm
going to refrain from hitting the table, though, because it makes my mic not happy.
That was me being mad. Did you hear that anger in my...
I did. I heard the anger.
That was so angry. Man.
I'm just going to pound my chest.
Ben, what's the first thing that we're super mad about?
I'm mad about pounds. Darn pounds. Why can't we just use the metric system?
Stupid.
I mean, Okay, so you got kiloliter. Then what's next? Kilogram. Over here, we're like,
Pound.
how many pounds is it?
Pound,
What even
ounce.
is that measurement of how many punches you can throw?
Yeah,
how many
right?
times you can pound it?
Stupid. I don't know. And there's
that's
also like the
bad
British
measurement.
pound. So like, why would they name a currency after a form of measurement?
Why would they name a currency off of our measurement? So it's like
Yeah.
we already had the stupid idea. So they're like, they were jealous, and they're like, oh, we gotta be like America.
We can't be a great country. We gotta take their stupid things, and they're already
So,
using
like,
metric.
honestly, that's. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool system how you can figure out how much someone is worth by seeing how many punches it takes to beat them up. But okay, honestly, I feel like that's an inefficient way to do it. I feel like you could just put the person on a scale. You could find out how much
pounds
they're
worth.
Exactly, how much
Exactly.
pounds. On one
It's
side
true.
you have pounds being pounded on the scale, and the other
Well-
side you have the person. It's not that hard.
The thing is here, it all depends on, how efficient you want to be, and also, do you know what else I hate?
What?
Rings. I hate rings of
I
all
hate
sorts.
Rings? I hate
I hate
Uh,
metal
I
rings.
hate-
I hate plastic rings. I hate smoke
gambling rings.
Gambling
I
rings.
was stuck in one for a long time. It was bad. It was,
Yeah,
I
we
gave
don't need
them
to get into that now.
I gave them $2,000, and I'm like, put it in the pot, and they're like, okay, and then they took my money, and I was like, why don't I get it back? And they're like, well, it's gambling. You lose your money, and I lost it. It was
Man,
like
I hate gambling rings.
I don't get how like seriously they just took my money.
Do you know what
what's
sucks
up with
about
that?
gambling rings? Is
What?
the fact that oftentimes in gambling rings, they are you taking pounds from people, the money, the currency, and then
Oh
giving
my
them to
goodness,
all those other
that's-
people.
That's crazy. I
And do you know
can't
what
even.
other? Do you know what other type of rings I hate? Fighting rings. Fighting rings where they stand around in
fighting?
rings and fight each other. Yeah, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frick
and then
those.
if you win, they give you a little ring.
Yeah,
That says I won
stupid.
the fight.
Yeah, and
Ugh.
also like in fighting rings, you keep pounding people to find out how much they're worth, and like nobody's even
Exactly.
keeping tally of how much it is.
It's what are we, a bunch of monkeys?
Yeah, we're not monkeys. We're
you-
sufficient.
Yeah,
efficient.
right. Well, I mean, we're not a bunch of monkeys, but we're almost as bad as boas. Have you ever seen
boas.
a boa constrictor? You go to the zoo and he's like, "Oh, look at me. I'm like a snake." And you're like, "Really? Wow. Okay. That's wow. You're so special. Why can't you just be like the rest of us, honestly?"
Yeah,
Honestly.
but also like you know how boa constrictors are all like fierce and like yeah. There's also those
so
like
scary.
stupid little fluffy things that are like fluffy scarves that shed all over the place. Shed. Their feathers shed all over the place, and they get all
Yeah.
everywhere. And then it's like, what is this? A dainty little boa? No, I want a boa constrictor.
That reminds. Sheds. I hate sheds too. Have you ever been like, oh, I'm gonna build a house, and the contractor's like, oh, sorry, that's not in the budget. Instead, we're gonna build you a shed. And I'm like,
shed
wow,
instead of a
great.
house. Like, what is this?
I can go put my little lawnmower in it. Wow, it's so useful.
Because I have a lawnmower. Gosh, I hate
well,
lawnmowers.
okay, maybe I have more than one. Maybe I have two. Maybe I own a business. Maybe I have three. Did you ever think?
Maybe
about
I
that?
have 18 lawnmowers because I own a business called Noah's Lawnmower Service.
Maybe
you don't
I
know?
can't fit them all in my shed, huh?
That's why you need a house. I don't need a house for me to sleep in. I need a house so I can put all my freaking lawnmowers, and then
need
I'll take it.
a
I'll take the shed and
lawnmower
live in the shed.
house.
You know what? You know what they say? The more the house, the more the lawnmowers.
That's true. That's what they say.
You know what I hate?
What?
I sure hate analysts. People who analyze things.
Yeah. So why can't you just leave it be? Why can't reality just be reality? Why you gotta transfer it into information? There's already matter and energy in the universe. Why you gotta
so much-
Why you gotta put it into numbers and
Also,
letters,
like,
huh?
Numbers,
Didn't ask you
information.
to.
What? How is that helpful to anyone?
When-
Stop
how-
analyzing things.
When were you ever like, oh, I'm about to die of starvation. If only I had a textbook. That would be
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Full of analyzations of a bunch of different things. It's stupid. Get rid of it. If it can't protect you or save you in a drought in the desert, it's useless. That's what I
mean,
say.
on that note, education. Like,
flippin'
I mean, let's
education.
get rid of it. honestly. So we don't need the information. So why is it given to us? Let's cut out the middleman, because we don't even want the man that's on the other side of the mountain.
Exactly.
Why would you have a man stand in the middle of the mountain? You just walk away from the mountain. You don't need either of them.
Yeah, just get rid of it. Go around the mountain. You don't need either man.
Exactly. You know,
I am a strong, independent woman, and I don't need no man, especially not a middleman. I'm also not a woman, but like, you know what?
Right.
Those are stupid. I hate them. And you know what's really bad about information and education and stuff?
Well, yeah.
Because they try to teach you about, guess what? Pounds. They try to teach you about
pounds. They try to tell you about the pounds. When you get the pounds, then they
brainwash
you in a ring before you know it.
Yeah, there's like an education ring. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't get it. The world, what does it come to? Is this what we wanted? Is this what we built with our pounds that we bought?
Do you know what we should have built? A house for lawnmowers.
We should have built a lawnmower house this whole time.
That's what we need. Those are the one things that are actually good in this world. Lawnmowers.
Instead, we're left with a shed of a world. We don't have a house of a world. We have a shed of a world. Frankly, nobody wants a shed. It's disappointing, honestly.
Yes.
You can't do as much with the shed as you can do with a house.
How many lawnmowers can you fit in a shed? 1, 2 if it's a big shed, or small lawnmowers.
I can't even fit them. I can't even count that. I can't even count to my hand. That's how little lawnmower I can put in shed.
Yes. We need to put more lawnmower in shed.
Yeah, exactly.
The bigger the shed, the larger the lawnmower. That's what I always say.
Yeah. I mean, right. Exactly. That's.
Man, I think I'm good with my ranting.
I think I got all of my angry energy out. I feel like the world needs some time to cool down and take my message. If they don't take it well, then I'll come back.
But not your informational message, because as we've discussed, information is useless.
They need to absorb my emotions.
Yes.
Is what they need to do.
Emotion is all we need.
In no analytical way. They don't need to. Need to deconstruct my argument.
Nope.
Or my motives. Just feel it.
Just accept it. Just feel it. Just accept it. Feel it.
Exactly.
Put it into your brain space. It's fine. You're good.
I gotta shake out the anger. Segment 2. Stupid BuzzFeed quiz. Yes, this is just a segment where we do a BuzzFeed quiz, but we put stupid at the beginning, which infers that we're going to make fun of it because we think that it's stupid. Should we? Doesn't matter. It's a good time. It's a hoot, and we also get to find out what sort of Disney princess we are by picking 6 pineapples off the top of a tree.
That was a very good guess. Do you want to guess what our thing is? Here, I'm gonna give you 3 guesses, and then my name will be Rumpelstiltskin.
So it obviously starts with, we'll guess what kind of blank you are by blank.
The first word is pick. So pick blanketed blank, and we'll blanketed blank blank.
Pick 10 dream houses, and we'll say what kind of barista you are.
Nope.
Pick 10 designer shoes, and we'll say what Disney princess you are. I'm just going off of everything that BuzzFeed just churns out.
Okay, one more. What's the old brain box want to say?
10 desserts, and we'll tell you how
you're so close.
How street smart you are.
Oh my gosh, you got it.
What?
Just kidding. No. We're going to be doing, drumroll please, pick 10 breakfast foods, and we'll reveal if you're more SpongeBob or Gary. So, I'm going to guess right off the bat that I'm more SpongeBob and you're more Gary.
Yeah, I guess. Wow. But
we'll find out. So, we need to select 10 breakfast foods, so we don't need to explain to you.
I'm going to preface by saying I think this is really silly, and I don't think it's very practical, but I love breakfast food, so I'm probably going to enjoy this entire thing.
You have actually expressed that on multiple occasions on the podcast. I remember that very much.
I do.
And I think, if I remember properly, your favorite breakfast food is French toast.
I mean,
Am I right?
it
Dang
was. It's
Oh, okay.
waffles now. I
Oh,
mean, I got pretty tired of French toast. I had it a lot.
well,
Um,
at
I
least
think
I
during the
wasn't
period.
wrong. Because the Ben that I knew,
Yes, the Ben that you knew did love French toast, and I still
cool.
like it.
All right.
Okay,
All right. So, first one, waffles or pancakes?
I
I'm
got
going to guess that you're going to go for pancakes based on what you just told me about waffles being your favorite.
yeah, of course.
All
Yeah,
right.
you got it.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna pick waffles, Noah.
Oh, right. Sorry. I was homeschooled. Anyway, select a breakfast food.
French toast, or see, it's scrambled eggs.
Yeah, I
It
saw
looks
that.
like, see, it looks like mashed potatoes, but
It does.
it's actually
That's
scrambled
disgusting.
egg.
That's disgusting.
And there's
This
green on it. I don't know what the green is on
That
the
looks like
scrambled
cilantro
egg.
or I don't know. Anyway, I do really like French toast, but scrambled eggs has a lot of nice protein. But I'm gonna go with French toast.
Yeah, I like scrambled eggs, but French toast it's just
Oh,
hard to beat.
this next one is an obvious one for me: bagel and cream cheese or peanut butter toast.
You know, despite eating peanut butter toast for almost every breakfast in the past 2 years, I do
Wow.
prefer bagel and cream cheese.
Wow. Okay, I prefer peanut butter toast mainly because it's cheaper.
It
Normally.
is cheap. It's probably like the cheapest like protein breakfast you can have.
Heck yeah.
It's just like
Delicious.
sometimes I'll just take a piece of bread and I'll just slap some peanut butter on it. I'll be like, that's a meal right there.
I have to have
I
it
don't
with
care
water.
who you are.
Water. I mean, did I say water? I meant milk.
Yeah,
Gotta have it with milk.
it does. I mean, it's so. I can't even describe it. If you don't know why you have to have milk with peanut butter toast, then you've obviously never had peanut butter toast. But you know what we're
Wow.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's not an insult. Just go have peanut butter toast and then
Do it.
feel the sensation afterwards.
It's delicious. Make sure you toast the bread. Also, I'd like to note that we are recording this the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and my family is going to be gathering here fairly soon, and so they're making food upstairs. There are sounds of them chopping things very loudly, and I see that my microphone is picking it up. I'm not going to have time to edit this out, so you're welcome.
Okay, well, I think it's fine. I can't hear them, and
Well,
I mean,
I
I
just
know
wanna-
that they're only making peanut butter toast.
Yes,
so
that's what
there's.
actually,
I mean, it feels relevant.
that
right
is
now.
that is actually a tradition of our Thanksgiving meal, is that it consists of entirely peanut butter toast and milk.
I mean, that's a perfect Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
if you ask me. I start every other day like that. Thanksgiving should just be a bigger version of whatever you normally eat.
Obviously.
Anyway, next ones. Select a breakfast food: cereal or omelette.
Ooh, I'm gonna go for omelet because it's more special, but it takes way too long to make. Also,
do-
cereal's not super good for you.
I used to love. I ate cereal probably twice a day for most of my childhood, but omelets, like you're saying, they're just special. You can stick whatever you want in there. Also, the picture of that omelet with
Just
like
so
the
good.
ham or the corned beef, whatever's in there, it looks
That looks like
delicious.
ham. Also, I'd like to note that the picture for cereal, there's cereal strewn about the whole table, and the tablecloth is like wrinkled. So like,
Yeah,
what? Who eats their cereal like that?
it just dumps cereal on the table, gets new bowl, pours more cereal in. Now this is breakfast.
Now this is breakfast.
You finish your bowl and your mom's like, "Oh, are you done with breakfast?" And you're like, "No." Straighten out the tablecloth and you just start going and just eat all the cereal off the table.
Yeah, just like vacuum it. Just like you become a cereal vacuum. That's what I do every morning.
You suck the milk out of the tablecloth.
But what's great about this is that actually not great. What is inconvenient is when you're trying to eat cereal on a surface that is not wrinkleable. It's very inconvenient when you try to wrinkle it up and it ends up just warping it forever. I've had experience with this. We have granite countertops, and I wanted to eat cereal on it one day, and so I just took a hammer and made it all lumpy because that was the best way to simulate wrinkles in granite.
That's true.
Yep.
But then afterward, you're like, why doesn't it go back?
Yeah,
It
no,
just
I was
doesn't.
yeah.
I'm sorry for your granite loss.
Well, on the bright side, now I have a spot to eat breakfast every day. So
Yeah, that's good.
it's a win-win, really. It's a trade-off, not a win-win. Okay, this is the big one: bacon or sausage patties.
Here's what I'm going to say. The picture of the bacon looks really good, and the sausage patty picture looks nasty.
I was actually gonna say that exact same thing.
But sausage patties are just, they're
I just like
good.
Yeah, I
They're,
like
like,
sausage patties
thick and
significantly more.
Greasy, and especially if it's pork sausage. Oh, way better than bacon if you ask
I also
me.
like chicken sausage. It's really good. It all depends
I
on
haven't
how it's
had a lot of
seasoned.
chicken
So,
sausage. Sounds really good.
okay, Ben, what's the next one?
Oof. Select a breakfast food. Hash browns or English muffin. Oh, that's
This
hard.
one's easy.
I
Hash
really
browns.
like a crispy, salty hash browns, but a toasted English muffin with butter is also amazing.
I went for hash browns because hash browns are just dang good. Just A+ all around. I made hash browns the other day from scratch, and they
I'm
take
gonna
a
go with
long
hash
time to
browns.
cook.
I've done that too. It does take a really long time.
Oh, okay. So, tip out there. This is not the first time that I've made hash browns, so I knew this already. But tip out there for anybody who wants to make hash browns. This will change your life. Take the potato, shred it up into all those little bits, and then take a paper towel and crush put all of the potatoes in the paper towel and crush it and compress it so you squeeze all the moisture out, and then cook it from there. This is the segment of podcast where we occasionally give actually good cooking advice.
That sounds great. But Noah,
Yes.
would you rather have a muffin or a croissant?
I would like a croissant.
Yeah.
If you
I
can't
would,
understand what we're saying croissant.
I would rather have a croissant.
Yep, me too. Okay. This is
Okay.
the real one. Oatmeal or yogurt parfait or parfait.
See, oatmeal is so classy, and it's like one of the best, like, actually warm. I was gonna say warm breakfast foods, but actually pretty much all warm breakfast food is good, except cereal's not warm. Yogurt parfait is just more exciting and sweet. I've had a lot more bad oatmeal. I've never had a bad yogurt parfait.
I've never
some
had
really-
a yogurt parfait, so
Oh, darn. I've had some great oatmeal, but I've yet to have a parfait that has disappointed me.
okay. Well, you can go for that. I'd also like to note that in these two pictures, they both have the exact same fruits on them. And I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I also think just with food photography, they typically try to
Foodtography?
do like, yeah, that. They just typically put in like a blue fruit and a red fruit because it's like good
Hot and cold colors.
colors.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Cinnamon roll or donut?
That's a very hard question because there's a lot of different types of cinnamon rolls and a lot of different types
really
of donuts.
easy. Donut any day. The worst donut would be a lot of the best cinnamon rolls I've ever had.
I will take cinnamon rolls, please, because I like cinnamon rolls and I don't get them very often.
A lot of them are
Donuts.
dry and sad. For
Okay,
me.
only if they're cooked well are they good. If they're dry and sad, they're dry and sad and bad. Like me. Okay, select a breakfast food. Beans on toast or biscuits and gravy.
This is the last one.
Wait a second. We've talked about this before. You really like biscuits and gravy because you thought you didn't like it until you had actually good biscuits and gravy.
See, I've never had beans on toast, but I've always wanted it, and it looks really good seeing the picture now. But I'm not from Australia. I'm much closer to the south.
I chose
So,
biscuits and
Biscuits
gravy.
and gravy, same here.
Okay, what did you get?
I got Gary.
I'm also more like Gary. Aw.
Wow.
What a great quiz.
I got the second option instead of the first one.
I also got the second option instead of the first one.
That says it's so helpful.
Well, if you guys would like to play this,
Don't.
It's in the show notes. But I mean, why would you want to?
I mean, you can. I won't.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Judge,
I'm
it
not going to
just-
stop you.
I mean, it's either gonna be SpongeBob or Gary. So
You have a 50-50% chance, a 50-50% chance, which is basically a 100% chance.
right.
Yep. Segment 3, Segway. What we're going to do is go through and press the random article button on Wikipedia, and it will bring us to a random Wikipedia article. Basically, what we're both going to do is get a bunch of random ones. Basically, we're going to go through them and read about them and talk about what we're discussing, and then the other person is going to have to try to segue that one into their own that they have. And we're going to keep going back and forth, and try to segue naturally as soon as we possibly can into a new one.
No, Noah. Did I tell you about my favorite poem?
I did not.
Oh, I
What?
didn't tell you about Til Ungdomen, a brilliant Norwegian poem by the Norwegian poet Nordahl Grieg. It was set to music by the Danish composer Otto Mortensen in 1986.
1986?
Yeah.
Man, that's 4 years before this guy that I've been learning about. His name is Lincoln Ho, or Lincoln Hugh. Lincoln,
Wow.
he was born in 1982. He was an American politician. Well, still is. He's still alive. He was a member of Missouri House of Representatives, having served from 2011 to 2016. He is a member of the Republican Party. Good for him.
Hold
Hugh,
on,
what?
just a second. You said Republican, right?
Yes, of course. Uh-huh.
I actually am friends with a bunch of people that they say they like Republic. I don't know if that makes them Republicans, but they like Republic. And they're actually really smart because they went to Oxford, which reminds me of this other really smart guy named David Mumford that I met. He was educated at Merton College, which is in Oxford. So he's pretty well educated, and he was a priest that was ordained in 1987. He was a co-coordinator. Yeah.
What is this guy from?
He was just a priest. He was a
In
co-coordinator.
Oxford. Well,
yeah.
you know,
Well, yeah.
When I think of Oxford, I think of Oxford United, which is a football club team. And whenever I think of that, I think of Norwegian Premier League, which is soccer. And whenever I think about that, I think about Morten Kolseth, who was a retired Norwegian football defender, which not football, American football, but football as in soccer. And he started his career in Vadmera, Illinois. He was in the squad of SK Brann in 2000 and played two Norwegian Premier League games.
So hold on, you're saying he played football?
Yes, he did.
Football. See, feet. I know about feet. There's actually there's a pretty big community of people that I know that have feet. They live actually in this little town in India called Sursand, which is in the Sitamari district in Turhat division of Bihar, India. A really nice place. Zip code is 84333.
Oh yeah, wait. That's a place? Man,
Right,
whenever I think
yeah.
about place, I think about how places have things in them. And whenever I think about things and places, I think about botanical gardens.
Oh,
and there's
of
this
course.
very, very specific botanical garden that I always think of whenever I think of botanical gardens. And that is the Giuridino Botanico Prestineroco de Molina de Ledaro, which is a botanical garden on the grounds of Museo delle Palafite del Lago de Ledro.
Actually, you know what? I was
what?
just there last week, and I was looking at it, and it was called a botanical garden, but I was looking at it, I was like, this looks a bit more like what's it called? Oh, a park. Which reminds me of a good gal that I used to draw pictures with named Ira Parks, who starred in the 1980 comedy film Seems Like Old Times, starring Neil Simon. Great film. There's Chevy Chase is in it.
Chevy Chase.
This guy, Chevy Chase, he's forced to rob a bank. He becomes a fugitive, and then he seeks help from his ex-wife as a public defender. Then her current husband. Then
wait a second. Did you say husband? That means they were married, right?
Yeah, they were. Well, yeah.
Anyway, there's this guy who had a mother and a father, and they were married, and his name is Charles T. Gulick, who was another politician in the Kingdom of Hawaii. He was one of the few members of various missionary families of the time to side with the monarchy and overthrow the Kingdom of Hawaii. He was born on January 25th, 1941, to a family of American mercenaries, and his father was William Gulick, of course, and his mother was Eliza Thorpe Thomas.
Hold on just a second. Did you say he's mercenary?
Yeah, no, missionary.
He's a missionary. Okay, well, basically the same thing.
Yeah, basically the same thing.
Mercenaries, as you know, are people that are paid to kill people
like
for a certain amount of money. And as you know, most money weighs something. That's how they decide the money, is it weighs something. Yeah. Which reminds me of a certain type of weight, which is welterweight. which reminds me of a great boxer from 1876 named Eddie Cannoli.
Wait a
who
second. A
took
boxer, that's a sport, right? Whenever I think
Yeah.
about sports, I think about swimming. And whenever I think about swimming, I think about Gary Hall Jr., who is an American former competition swimmer who represents the United States at the 1996, 2000, and 2004 Olympics and won 10 Olympic gold medals. Well, Olympic medals, 5 gold, 3 silver, 2 bronze. He was the former record
Hold on,
holder
just a second.
in 2 what?
This is at the Olympics, right? See,
Yes, of course.
I'm actually writing a paper right now on how people got to the Olympics. And back when they had the Olympics in Scotland, they were using something called Designing Streets, which is a policy and guidance document published by the Scottish government in March 2010, which provides guidance for practitioners in Scotland involved in the planning, design, provision, and approval.
Wait a
and
second.
adoption
It's a
of all
document?
streets. Yes,
Whenever I
it's
think
a
about
document.
documents, I think about books. And
Oh,
and books always bring me to film, because films often
Right.
come from books. And so I always think of the British comedy, this British crime comedy, How to Become a Criminal Mastermind, which was made on the budget
brilliance.
of £10,000 and was released in September of 2013. It was directed by Henry Scriven. It stars Sam Macy, Phil Weddell, and Georg Stadler, and was written by Henry Scriven and Michael Delwich.
Michael, I know a Michael. Maybe it's not that Michael, but I know a Michael. And I always remembered him because he had a really long nose, and it always made me think of like a gar, or like, you want to know, one of those fish that has like a long like snout,
Like a
kind of like a
swordfish.
pipefish, or the
Oh.
greater pipefish, which is a pipefish of the family Synthagidae. It's a seawater fish. And it's of the genus Syngathus, and it's on the least concern list as far as conservation goes. So it's pretty common, but it looks a bit like a seahorse from a distance, but it's just like this long tube. But it's still a fish, which is really interesting. And they've actually been around for a really long time, for thousands of years.
So they were around in 2006, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's convenient. Did you know that at the 2006 census, the population of Darvishabad, Fars, was actually 80 in 17 families. So it's a small little village in Iran and in the province of Fars. So that's really cool to know. It's a small little village in Rizab Rural District in Katruya District, Nariz County, Fars Province, Iran.
Fars Province, Iran.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I was there. Actually, no, scratch that. I am there right now. Right now, I'm actually studying hydroculture here. Because we're trying to figure out how we can make more plants with water, because that's what hydroculture is. Actually, there's a subset of hydroculture called hydroponics that I'm specifically studying right now. I'm talking with a guy from there. Actually, I think he was listed in whatever thing you were just talking about, which I was listening to very intently. But anyway, this hydroponics is a method of growing plants without soil by using mineral nutrient solutions in a water solvent.
Everyone needs plants, right? And everyone needs crops, including a Antigua de Belia, which is a village in Portugal. True story. And in 2011, its population was 8,954 and has almost 2,000 residents.
2,000. That's a pretty big number, actually.
Yeah.
So big, I'm actually going to reduce a little bit. I'm going to reduce it by exactly 100. I'm going to bring it back down to 20, which is the amount of apps that Tegan Writing got as an Australian football player during his 2013 career on the team Redlands United. What an app is, I'm not quite sure, but he had 20 of them. Very impressive, Mr. Tegan Writing in 1993.
Oh, 93. Whenever I think of 1993, I think of 1355, who, whenever I think about 1355, I think about Juan Ximenez Cardan, who was born in 1355 and
What
was
a
a
guy.
fiscal and constitutional lawyer and legal theorist who served as the Justicia Mayor of the Kingdom of Aragon from 1390 until 1423. He was the son of Domingo Zamilas Cardan.
You know,
Also,
actually, as a legal theorist, I think he would have had a really good conversation with my new little friend that I made recently. He's actually a species of ground beetle native to Europe, and his name is Bembidion palladinipenni.
Yes, of course.
Sweet guy. He crawls around. He's got a little gold back.
Whenever I think about little beetles, I always think of a species of plant. Finally, this species of plant is known as Scaloricaria gilleti. True story.
Inspiring stuff.
It is inspiring, isn't it?
It's just a game of who can pronounce their names the worst.
The best. The worst or the best, or maybe the worst is the best. I don't know.
Ugh. That is the end of the show. We hope you did enjoy it. What did we learn today, Noah?
We learned that we're both more like Gary rather than SpongeBob.
I also learned that the British pound is a measure of how many pounds that you can take from a beating.
I personally learned the bigger the house, the larger the lawnmower.
I learned that if you're going to have 18 lawnmowers, like you were saying, you should get a house instead of a shed, because sheds are sad.
Stupid. I hate sheds.
You can find Noah on Twitter at Nomich_ and Ben at Tendo. Email the podcast at segmented.fm@gmail.com and support the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/segmentedfm, where you can get extra goodies, talk to the hosts, primarily Noah, on live chat, and occasionally you can listen to the recording sessions live. But the best way you can support the podcast is to leave a review on iTunes and share it with your friends. And with that, what
are
your
favorite
ways
to
skin
a
snake
with
only
your
thumbs?
So, Ben, because I don't have that much time today, we need to not mess up at all. Can we do that?
Right.
Okay, good.
I got it. Every time. You can find Noah on Twitter at Nomich_ and me, Ben. Nope. You can find Twitter.
You can find Twitter at twitter.com. Ah, nice. I just did sign language for nice, which you can't see, but you can hear it.
I can't. Sign language.
Can you hear my sign language?
Not even a little bit. Sign language is totally useless over this medium.
Well,
even if I had the most acute sense of hearing, I could not hear the air movements of your sign language.
I was just signing. I said I just signed. Wow, nice dancing. Should we release them?
No, it's not time yet.
Rather.
Quite.